All right, welcome everybody. It's Dotson Man Diecast here. I got JDC in the house. JDC Diecast Creations. You got him on the cell phone here. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Well, welcome back.
Welcome back. So yeah, thanks for coming on, man. I've been anxious to get some people that I really truly respect and that I love watching your channel and your modifications and your customizing. All that is super great. I love it.
Yeah, right on, man. Thanks for the compliment. I appreciate that. I think what you're doing here is awesome. It's definitely a original idea. I mean, obviously people have podcasts, but to do it with the diecast community, this is super cool, man. Super cool.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I got a buddy at work that does podcasts for recovery. He's a recovering addict.
Okay.
And he really enjoys doing it and everything. And I've checked out his podcast, and he was like, "Man, you should do it too, like with Diecast." And when he first said that, I was like, "Well, we're all so used to showing off Diecast and like showing things, right? And it's hard to. I was like, how am I just gonna describe cars and stuff?" And but then you have to think outside the box. Like, hey, maybe I can have some other diecast people on my show, and then I can talk about just what it's like to be a diecast collector, modify things, and just kind of daily things, like for a diecast collector. So it's possible and it's cool. It's working out well. I'm glad.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And a lot of that comes down to who you are, I think, and like how you present yourself and. You definitely have a certain way about you, right? And so to be able to host a show like this where you're not showing actual cars and kind of picking and prodding at what people do and what they're into, and being able to carry on the conversation, right?
Yeah.
I think that it's very interesting to hear a different side of everyone's perspective on this hobby, and just really cool for you to bring this into the light in a different package, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it's not like I came up with podcasts or anything, but it's just a cool thing that I hope some other people will adopt and start their own podcasts and everything. You don't mind the train in the background. You're going to hear it a couple times, but there's no way to avoid that. I don't even know when that thing comes by. It just always likes to come by whenever I'm doing some audio or video. It's like, Arr! But
yeah, right.
Honest Diecast, my best friend Derek wants to start a podcast. I mean, whoever wants to do it and has time to do it, and you don't have to do it all the time. Just like I was talking about, like if you're like a content creator, we got real lives. It's like it's not like we can post stuff every day, and
Absolutely.
we'd like to, but it's like we all have lives and work and family, family.
And that comes first over everything.
Absolutely.
This is a great community and a great hobby, but it's very easy to get submerged in, and you always have to keep your priorities straight.
Yeah.
I found myself in the beginning when I first started I shouldn't even say it in the beginning of my customizing, but when I first started my YouTube channel, I put so much pressure on myself that I found myself staying up way too late working on, stuff that I should be sleeping,
Yeah.
But I told myself that I was going to set a goal,
mm-hmm.
and I'm the type of person to follow through with that. So
yeah.
I put way too much pressure on myself, and it burned me out, man, to be honest. Like, a lot of people told me I was going to get burnt out, and I was like, you know what? Once I hit my goal, I'll kick back, and that's kind of what happened. But family first, man, absolutely, always.
Yeah, family and friends, and the close friends in our lives, I think, are family, of course. So.
This turns into a whole nother family,
Yeah.
Even though I've never met any of you guys, besides a few people at the barbecue a few weeks back, but definitely feels like family in the YouTube community for sure.
Yeah, it's the great thing about technology is crazy as it can be, as obnoxious as it can be sometimes, is it's kind of like it's where you put yourself and what kind of group you put and like the people you surround yourself with. If you meet like other like awesome people or people that are kind and you know and just good people, then like it's just a good community to be a part of, and it's so easy to be a part of. But you know, a lot of people don't know what's there. You know, whether it be like people that are into quilting or like Funko Pop or like whatever they collect, there's somebody out there that likes the same thing that you do and just equally or more passionate as you are. And if you can share that with somebody and have a good community and you know and not have a bunch of toxic people involved, because fortunately enough you can kick those people out online. I think you and I can probably both agree that we don't want any of that on our pages, you know, at all, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and I've been a part of a good amount of communities over my life, right? I mean, I'm 36 years old, so I've done a few things. I'm still not old, but I'm also not young, right?
Yeah, I'm 37, so yeah.
And throughout all the communities that I've been a part of, this is absolutely hands down the best support group and just positive reinforcement that I've ever been a part of. And, you know, I'm part of the racing community in real life. My brother and I had a run at professional gaming.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I never really went anywhere with it because I didn't apply myself, but he's one of the fastest in the world on Forza Motorsports.
Oh, really? That's exciting.
Yeah. So he's been actually to Texas for the CGN, I think, which has since gone under. And he went to he won a worldwide competition and actually went to Manhattan and raced for the finals and won it. And he won a trip to California to race at Infineon, which is now something else.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think I've heard it before.
Yeah, so you got to drive the Audi R8 over there.
Nice.
And everything was paid for, which is cool. You know, pro gamer, basically. Never really brought it too far after that, though, you know. But anyway, where I was going with that is, you know, even in that gaming world, there's a lot of toxic people. I played lacrosse in high school and in college a little bit, and, you know, that's a great camaraderie to be part of a team, but you also have toxic people, right? In this the Diecast community, man, it's very, very few and far between, which is something to be happy about, you know?
Yeah, it's really cool. I think like I've talked about in my podcast before, there's collectors and modifiers, and then you have people that are like scalpers, basically, and I don't consider them a part of the Diecast community, you know, so.
Yeah, you know, and that's a interesting topic, you know, because I see both sides of it. So, like, if you're a part of this community, this is my take on scalping, right?
Yeah.
I do not support it one bit.
Yeah.
Right? If you're part of the community and you go out to purchase vehicles, you know, castings for the main purpose of flipping them,
yeah,
but you claim to be part of the community, you're no good. And that's my take on that.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a flipper, so like there's people out there that buy and sell stuff, you know?
Sure.
And you're a flipper and you have no interest in the castings at all, but you see that there's value in certain ones, and that's your business. As long as you're not like
gouging
outrageously
people.
priced, you know. I have no, and I guess I do have a little bit of a problem with it because I'm in this community, right? But I don't have a problem, quote unquote, with people that's their business and that's what they do, right? There's
a difference, though. It's just like if you have a store or even an online store and that's what you do, that's fine. You're putting a lot of time into it. You're not making a ton of money if you're not being outrageous.
Family.
Yeah, you're trying to support your family. So I get that, and that goes with a lot of different things, you know. But I think there's people that, you know, are literally like pushing down old ladies to get that super treasure hunt just to sell it for $200. You know, this is a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought it was crazy. Mustang Hunter showed the video of him moving, and he stopped in Denver over there, and
Yeah.
it was like, I'm not from a big city, so I don't see what happens in these stores in these big cities. And when I saw like 5 or 6 people around 2 shopping carts with the cases cracked open, and they're just like picking through it all, I'm like, wow, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I think that happens like most everywhere, not everywhere, but if you're from like a small city, like I'm in a small town, so I don't have scalpers in my town, but I go outside the city to like a little bit bigger cities to where else I hunt there too, and I don't see it that often, but I actually know of friends that their cousin or their uncle is a scalper. Like, you know, they call themselves collectors because they've got a big collection, but they're legitimately finding the super treasure hunts and grabbing all of the whatever BRE Datsuns just to sell them for a bunch of money or trade them, trade bait and stuff like that.
Actively scalping, right?
Yeah, so they're basically, you know, some people say, you know, I do it to support my hobby. You know, it's like, well, you know, that's not cool either, because it's like, you know, the rest of us are just trying to be honest, and we work hard for our money at work, and you know, it's a hobby just like anything else. I mean, if you're a quilter and you sell some of your hard-earned things, you know, to buy something else, that's cool. Just like Diecast, like Hewitt's charges a little bit of money, or some people that charge money for their customs. That's their time. And it's a skill, you know, and not everyone can do that. So of course you can charge for it. It's your time, man. You spend 5 hours on a car, charge for it. You know, I don't care.
Absolutely, and there's a difference, and that's the difference. You know, a guy like James, he puts his time and effort into making these cars. He posts them up for, you know, a median price, I believe.
Oh, yeah,
because there's
pennies.
Cheaper cars out there, but there's also more expensive guys. So I feel like that $50 mark is a median, and he also puts for the amount of time and effort and craftsmanship that goes into those things. And not only that, but the material, right? I believe that's a fair price, and he's doing what he needs to do to continue buying his materials and continue the hobby. And not only that, he brings a great channel with free content for everybody, right? So that's all part of it too. As far as, you know, for me to address the people that say that they're scalping to support their hobby, find a new hobby. Because I've literally been building cars for almost 2 years now. Yeah. And I've yet to sell anything at all. I've given away half of the stuff that I've built because I want to be able to share my craft, you know,
your
and
passion.
give people joy. And there's nothing better for me to build something, send it out to somebody, and watch their face or their reaction when they open that box, you know?
Absolutely. Like, I mean, time and time again, I reiterate to people how much I appreciate customs. Like, when people send me stuff, like super treasure hunts, premiums, exclusives, convention cars, that's all cool, right? But customs, like, you spent like 3, 4, 5 hours on this car, you can't buy people's time. You can't. There's no dollar amount, you know. So when somebody sends me, you know, Eddie at Simple Customs just sent me this jacked up monster truck 510 just now. I just opened it today. It's like, wow, like, it's so cool that somebody sat down. I know what it takes to modify cars because I do it too. I love to polish cars and do other stuff, but I really like to polish cars. But I know how long that takes. I do a 9-step process of polishing a car. So,
absolutely, yep, I've seen it.
Yeah, so like when you give that car to somebody, that's your time, that's your effort, that's a lot of, like, sometimes heartache. You know, if you mess something up, you have to restart it, or like it just doesn't turn out right, and it's not where you want it to be. But it's your time, and a lot of times that's all people need. Like, I mean, your family members, your friends, all they want truly is your time, right? They don't want a bunch of gifts or, you know, I mean, some people think they want that stuff, but honestly, all I want, like, from, you know, Kimber, my fiance, is her time, you know, just to be near her with her.
Well, that's the greatest gift you can give.
You can't buy time. You can't. Bill Gates can't buy time. It's just, you can buy a town or an island, but you can't buy time. Can't do it.
Exactly, and that's where I was going before with don't get submerged in your hobby either.
Right.
There's a happy median everywhere, and above all, friends and family. But hobby time is important as well. But it's very easy to jump off that ledge and really get submerged in it.
Yeah, you gotta prioritize it for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us about your channel and why you started it. Who made you who inspired you to start a channel, and how it's going for you.
Okay. I guess the whole story starts New Year's Day. This would be last year, so 2020, right?
Yeah.
New Year's Day, I woke up and ate breakfast, and I'm flipping through YouTube, and I saw this 3D bot maker racing league, right? And I clicked on it because I played with Hot Wheels cars. Me and my brother, we grew up playing in the dirt, making tracks, and we grew up at a racetrack, so everything was racing our whole lives, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I clicked on it, and I started watching these diecast racing videos, and the production was just so good that I got addicted to watching them. I think I watched 6 or 7, and I'm like, holy moly, man, this is crazy, right? So then, YouTube sees what you're doing, and they start suggesting videos.
Yeah.
And the first video that popped up was Danny's Diecast Disasters, and he was making a post-apocalyptic oil tanker.
Okay.
So I clicked on it because the thumbnail was just crazy. It's this Mad Max thing, right? And I haven't even seen all those movies, but But
you like it, you dig it, for sure.
Yeah, my dad grew up. My dad when we were growing up, he would always be playing Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. So there's a bit of lore behind my childhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I started watching this video, and I was like, holy wow, man, that's crazy. He just turned this Hot Wheels car into this total creation that was something that wasn't there before, And then after I got done with that, the next video popped up. It was Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, and he was making a something Mopar. I don't remember what it was. I think it was a Roadrunner or something.
Okay.
But I hear this New England accent. He's from Massachusetts. I hear this New England accent, and he's kind of no filter.
Yeah, right.
Say it like it is. Doesn't sugarcoat it at all. And I'm watching this guy do this, and I'm like, wow, man, it's kind of crazy that he's cutting this thing up and he's fabricating frame rails, and all while just basically telling everybody what he's doing, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start building race cars. I'm going to send them into this bot maker channel and this, that, and the other thing. This is where it all went bad. Right? Because I was like, oh, they're only $1. So I can go out to the store and buy all the ones that look fast.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I think I spent $200 that day.
Wow.
It was crazy. Yeah,
wow.
Within the next couple days, right?
Yeah, you just went mad with it. You're just like, oh, I got
the orange tracks. I got everything I need to race these cars, and then I never did because I started watching these custom channels, and these guys are just insane with it, and I feel like there's a bridge. There's a gap between the die-hard customizers and the die-hard collectors.
Yeah.
And this is just my viewpoint, right?
Sure.
When I got into the customizing, part of my thing was I was in this Facebook group with all these customizers, and then, I start looking at YouTube and I see guys like you and Derek and Jason the Mustang Hunter and Hewitt Hot Wheels because he wasn't customizing at the time.
No.
And you guys are just like diehard collectors from my viewpoint as a beginner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you know, these customizers, they have these build-offs that are like the 4 Horsemen, the 3 Blind Mice, and then the post-apocalyptic stuff. The Gasland UK page does a monthly competition where they give out prizes and stuff. So I had started to participate in those, and then gradually started dropping seeds like to some of these guys that are in the collectors group, trying to bridge the gap, you know. And over time, I'm not going to take credit for it, but you know, I feel like my efforts have made friends of a lot of people that wouldn't typically have met, you know.
Sure.
Which that gives me some joy to know that I had something to do with that, right? Back to my channel. The reason why I created it was because I knew that when I started making these cars, everything that I learned was from YouTube. I found a lot of value in channels like Outlaw Speed Shop, Diecast Disasters, Jim Silva, you know, some of the OG customizers, right? The older guys that have been in it for a little bit.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a lot of years.
Yeah. So through that, one day, me and Keith, I had actually emailed him like, "Hey man, you know, what do you use for your recording and stuff? Because I'm thinking about making a channel." And I had posted some of the things I had made on the Facebook group, and he was like, "You should absolutely make a YouTube channel. This is everything that I use. Let me know if you got any questions." And this is a guy with like 16,000 subscribers, you know? So for him to be like, here's an open invitation to reach out whenever you want, I was like, you know what, that's really cool that this dude is that down to earth, and I've learned so much from him. For him to give me an open line, you know, that was a push for me to start my own channel. And since then, I've made it my value proposition to provide value and give back value that was given to me when I started, you know. And so I try not to veer too far away from that. And if I do, I always try to drop a few gems in my videos of, you know, a little trick that I learned here and there. And it's just been really fun and very rewarding to hear that I've actually inspired people to start their own channels. And I can't believe that, you know. I still look back at like a year or two ago, and like I was just the new guy, you know.
Yeah.
Now people look at me like the master of Gaslands. I'm like, no, I'm just a guy with some cheap paints over here, you know. But perspective is everything, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's when it comes to like this awesome community and everything. It's about inspiring people and push people to be better, to, you know, to get to do what you normally wouldn't do. Push yourself out of your comfort zone and
that's the fuel, man. That's the fuel when you know you start to second guess, like, am I doing the right thing or anything like that? You know, those are those little comments that keep you going. You know, knowing that you can make a difference in somebody's life. You know, by dropping a birthday present build, or, you know, sending a package out to Switzerland like I did today. You know, for Andrew over at Maple Leaf Customs. You know?
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah.
He's been my number one supporter since the beginning, and Andrew's great, man. If you haven't seen him, definitely go check that guy out. He donates every car he builds to charity. Yeah,
I think he might have mentioned something about donating, but I'd love to get one from him to raffle it off or do something with it, because he's got some pretty amazing stuff. I love his channel too. So
such a nice guy, man, and those type of people are scattered through this community like crazy. When you think of like guys like David over at Twice Diecast and
Twice Diecast.
And then you got, you know, Rapid Nismo, which is an up and comer, I think.
He's
young
crazy.
Guy. He just has to learn how to let other people talk.
Yeah, it's a process. It's a learning curve, but we all appreciate Rapid. We love Rapid.
Absolutely.
He's passionate. That dude is passionate about diecast and cars in general. So I love people that are passionate about things. I think we all do. I think we all that helps us be more passionate about things that.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yep. It radiates, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And what the cool thing about YouTube as well, especially in the diecast community, is it's crazy to think about how you meet each other too. Like you and I are chatting on the phone now on a podcast, and it's like I got Derek on his diecast started on diecast, and we met through cars. Like cars. He had a Supra, I had a Supra. We both have done racing, car shows, all that kind of stuff. I haven't been in anything crazy racing, but I do track days and stuff like that. We both love cars. And I got him started on diecast, and he's a madman. It's like he went from looking at me like I'm an idiot. Like when I was looking at diecast with him, he's like, "What are you doing, man? Let's get out of here." And I'm like, "No, man, there's a Datsun Z here." And then he walks out of the store with 50 cars. So It's crazy to sit down and think about how it all transpired. Then he starts his own channel and inspires me to start my own YouTube channel because I was on his channel. People were like, Mark, you should start your own channel. You're funny, do it. And then I was kind of like, nah, whatever. And then finally, it takes people like your friends, like Derek's like, dude, when you're starting your channel, like people want to see you, like they like you. Just make a video, just post it. Yep. And then you meet people that get it. Then Derek got into modifying cars. He was really looked up to like Jakarta Diecast because he loves his wide body stuff, his Porsches, all that stuff. And then you just you keep bringing all these other people into your circle, and it's a good circle. I mean, then you got Hewitt's that wasn't even doing any kind of modifications. He watches my video that I learned from Derek about wheel swaps and all that stuff, and he jumps into it, and he's got a past of modifying things and being really good with his hand painting models and stuff like that. He used to do model cars, and so it's really cool to be a part of something. And I've watched your channel and learned things from what you're doing, and it makes you feel better about I can do that. Hey, that doesn't look that hard. You thought it was really hard, but that's something I can do. And it's nice just to bring, all these different people in. We got Nas, Nostalgic. I think he found my channel, and then he found Derek's channel. And it's fun. It's cool that all the people that are kind of close to each other in the circle can kind of just mix into each other. Just kind of YouTube's hey, you might like this video. You might because you watch this or this person watches that. It's a cool community to be a part of, and I do appreciate that about YouTube, about how that all works. It's very interesting. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's all full circle, And I had a comment. Somebody had passed a comment that something was recycled, and I was I started thinking about that. Somebody had recycled somebody else's idea, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, nobody can really claim an idea because an idea is just an idea, right? So as long as you put your own spin on things, I feel like that's just sharing,
It is.
And that, and I encourage people, and that's the thing. That was the thing with my channel. It's very easy to get intimidated by bigger channels that have more subscribers and their camera work is great, and their voiceovers are very polished, and the editing is on point, right? It could be very intimidating to start making videos and compete with that, quote unquote.
Yeah, you're not going to. It's just not going to happen. You got to start somewhere, like anything.
Right. So I started overthinking it in the beginning, and that goes to what we were just talking about before we started this. You said you had a problem with your video.
Yeah.
My channel almost never existed because my first video, I built a car. It was a Volkswagen Beetle for the Three Blind Mice build-off for the Gaslands thing. And I recorded it all on my GoPro, and I had my computer ready to go, and everything was great. And I recorded 4 hours of video, and I put it on there, and I edited it all down, learned the program and all. and I go to export it, and it crashes and corrupts the file.
Oh, no.
Dude, I had like 2 days worth of work just in editing, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm like, I'm not doing this because I'm not going to go buy a $600 computer or whatever.
You can still happen, you know? It still happens.
Yeah, right. So then I started looking at, like, you know, how can I simplify this process?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, YouTube is great. Like, everybody asks questions to other people. I see Facebook posts all the time. How do you do this? How do you do that? Well, if you YouTube it, somebody probably already had the problem, asked the question, and answered it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I started looking for, you know, what's the best programs to edit on your phone. And I came across this KindMaster, which is a free program.
Yeah, I think I've used it.
What's that?
I think I've used it, yeah. It's a good program.
Yeah, so I downloaded it, and I recorded some video. I think I didn't even record anything. I actually used pictures that I had taken of a previous build, plugged them all in there. I hit voiceover record, and I made a video, and that was the start of my YouTube channel. And I think I paid like 20-something bucks for the year to take the watermark off.
Yeah, I don't like watermarks.
You know, but it's well worth it because I use that program almost every time I upload a video.
Yeah.
And it's all on my phone. You know, it simplifies everything. And I think that's just, if I was to give advice to newcomers coming into the hobby,
yeah,
simplify it as much as you can. Don't get stuck on spending a lot of money on your supplies and your castings and stuff like that. And also, I learned this from Jim Silva, and unfortunately, I learned it too late. Stop buying castings unless you're a collector and you're going to keep them carded and all that, right? Stop buying castings and instead take those dollars that you're going to drop every day when you go to the store, put it on the side, and buy tools.
Yeah.
Because now you have all the tools you need to do whatever you want to do, and the castings will always come, especially in this community. I can't believe how many people have sent me packages, man. It's insane. Like, I'll never be able to repay that.
No.
You know?
No, there's a lot of generosity in this community. It's mind-blowing, you know. Just look at, you know, I've got just 2 packages from people that just want to send me customs, and then I got a couple coming my way. I don't even know where they're from today. I just see them on my USPS, you know, alert.
Crazy,
says I got a couple
you don't
packages.
even know that they're coming.
Yeah, I'm like, who's sending me something, you know? But yeah, people are so generous, and you know that's what makes the world go around is when people are generous and kind and loving to each other. It's like these guys and gals that are in the. I mean, of course, you know, like I've talked about, it's mostly guys in this community, but I love to see the women that get into there, and even my fiance Kimber that she wants to do her first custom. We'll probably do that this weekend or something whenever she's up for it, but she wants to do a wheel swap.
So cool.
Yeah, and she wants to get on camera, and I'm like, yes, let's do it, you know? So, yeah.
Absolutely, man.
She says she's not very good with her hands, but, you know, we'll see. We'll find out.
Yo, you know what, man? You'll be surprised. I don't know. So, Amanda, you know, it's no secret, and I said this on my channel, and it's public knowledge. Amanda has diabetes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the challenges that came up for the Gaslands UK back in November, I think, and it was bootlegger, right? It was a bootlegger build for the Gaslands thing, and Amanda had been asking me, like, can I, you know, you think I should build a car? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, you should build a car. You know, I think it's very important to have support in the hobby, and you know, when you can have your significant other join you in something like this, whether it's this or, you know, kickball or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah, whatever it is.
It's just the time that is, like, it goes back to what you were saying before. So, basically, this challenge came up, and Amanda was like, can I build a car? And I was like, can you? You absolutely can. Like, I'll set you up with your own station. You can do whatever you want. And she's like, I need to use all my diabetes supplies to build this car as a bootlegger for this challenge. And then she came up with this whole backstory that, because, so Gaslands is like post-apocalyptic or whatever. And, she made it where it's in the future and insulin was outlawed, right? So this bootlegger was smuggling insulin for the diabetics. And she used all diabetes supplies to build this Dodge Charger monster truck. Man, I was so proud of her and happy that she showed interest and like got so into the build. At the end of it, the detailing is better than mine, bro.
Yeah.
Because, the hand, it doesn't shake at all. They're so detail oriented, if you want to call it, right? And I was told that it was because they do makeup, but she doesn't really do makeup, so
yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's really cool to see somebody that's not totally into the hobby get into it and do well. I think now she's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 customs, and it's just really cool, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's.
Sorry if I'm talking too much. I don't want to hijack your thing like rappers did.
No, man, it's totally cool. When I have guests on, I want my guests to talk as much as they want, except for Rapid. He probably wouldn't let me get one word in. It'd just be the Rapid Show with Rapid Nismo.
He's too busy juking over there.
Yeah, he's too busy. Stay juking. Stay juking. Yeah, but. No, you're good, man. I have people on here because I do enough talking on my own when I just do my own podcast by myself, and yeah, this whole it's definitely like podcasts and like doing YouTube stuff. It's a process, man. It's like it's tricky technology, like to get things dialed in, and even when you do get things dialed in, it doesn't always work properly, but. Like I just realized like right now that I don't have like my mic plugged in, but it's still recording just fine on my mic on my computer. But it's just always that little thing, like you forget to turn something on or off, or you got something in the background making noise that you didn't hear until you go through.
Yeah, it's funny you say that about the process because I actually made a video a few months back. I have a Let's Talk series on my channel, which I should get back to. It's set for beginners, to give tips and stuff. And in one of my videos, I talk about developing a process.
Yeah.
And being organized with your hobby, because everything can, basically explode and you'll have stuff everywhere and you won't know where anything is and this, that, and the other thing. But I guess the process thing applies to everything in life. If you come up with a process that works, you iron it out and then you repeat it. It makes everything easier, whether that's customizing or even collecting and hunting and, even just cleaning up your station and getting everying, organized.
Yeah.
When you have a process, I think that's the most important thing right off the bat, Like you could probably ask Derek. He's got a process. I'm pretty sure he has everything written down in a book probably with what time the deliveries come in and all that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he does. He got a process, and people call it, like they say that he stages stuff and he puts stuff, like it's staged and this isn't real. And I'm glad you said that because I've been meaning to call out like some people that comment on it because of course that kind of stuff gets under your skin sometimes because I've been down hunting with Derek and we get after it and like he tires me out, bro. Like he's like, we're up early, like sun's not up, we're heading like an hour or two, a couple hours south or whatever to go look at this location. He knows when they put stuff out. He keeps track of all that stuff. Like this, he's not planting stuff. This dude has a system and he's on it. Yeah. And I've watched it. And for people to come in there and say you planted that, there's no way you could find two in a day or 3 in a day. Dude, we found like 3 in like 4 different stores, super treasure hunts. And I'm like, wow, like it's like it blew my mind. But he's got a system And to people that are want to come into your channel and be toxic, and this one guy was talking about his wife or something, you don't do that. It's like said something about his wife, and it's like
it's crazy.
Yeah, so he blocked him because it's like you can't allow people to keep coming in and like tearing you down. I'm not going to allow it either.
No,
but
not at all. And the bigger you get, I think the more haters, and
it's going to happen,
haters come in, right?
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to not really have much of that yet, but it's the bigger you get on like YouTube, or even if you're on Instagram, you have a lot of people hitting you up all the time that expect a lot from you. I guess I don't know. They send you stuff all the time. If you don't reply to them, they get super angry and stuff. But it's a fine line. It's tough, because I'm no different than anyone else, but at the same time, I have a life, and I can't reply to everybody's messages and stuff like that right away. So people really need to get a grasp on that and realize that we have lives.
People have to realize that it is a hobby. It's not your full-time job.
Yeah.
So you can't expect somebody to always have time, which is the most valuable thing in the world, which we've been talking about, right? Time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the title of the podcast.
Yeah. Do you have time?
But yeah, man, it's very hard to keep up with so many messages and all that, and comments and all that. And I try to comment back on everybody's comments on YouTube and keep up with the Instagram stuff and all that too. And it is tough, man. It's tough, and no hard feelings to anybody if I didn't reply to you in any of my stuff. It's just sometimes things are busy, and you just can't get to it. But that doesn't mean you don't appreciate the support, and doesn't mean that you don't see the comments and stuff like that either. I know for a while there, for about 2 months, I didn't comment on anybody's videos, but I was still watching when I could.
Yeah, which has given them, is hours watched and stuff like that, and it's contributing to their channel. Right, and I always like
it. I always hit the like button. If I don't have time to leave a comment, though, you don't know that the person's there, right? So
yeah, that's true. But I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I think we all need to understand that people have lives, and they'll catch up on your stuff later on, and you can't hold anybody to be involved in all your live streams and whatever, because they'll be back around. Yeah. We all, I try to watch people's videos as much as I can. But like it goes back to what you said. You got priorities. You got family. You got like the Fast and Furious family. It's all about. That's what.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
That's what
it's about.
Why I kind of branded the whole JDC family, because it brings everybody together. At least in my small community, right?
Yeah.
And I always try to tell people, if you go and if I shout somebody out and they, you go and check their channel out, make sure you let them know the JDC family's in the house, so that they know where you came from, that it's all coming around full circle,
Yeah, I think people do that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a great community, man. It's a great community, and there's so many different sides of it and avenues to go down. Just pick a lane and hit the gas pedal. That's the best way to start. You gotta get started somewhere, and if you don't start, then nothing ever got created, right?
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know if you don't try. I mean, and maybe it's not for you to do like like videos or a podcast, but or whatever you want to do, or modified cars. You got to try it out though, and a lot of times you got to stick with it for a little while too, because it's nothing just comes super easy. So when you start something, you got to give it some time to see whether it's something you really like and are passionate about, and maybe it's not, and you can focus on something else that you are passionate about. So it's not that hard to figure out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like I said, I kind of gravitated towards the weathering and stuff in the beginning, because I didn't have all the tools that I needed to make these shiny paint jobs and stuff, and I don't have a spray booth or an airbrush or any of that, right? And a lot of these guys are using this stuff, and
it's difficult.
That was part of the reason why I went down the dirty road, because if you make a mistake there,
you're good.
It's very easy to cover it up, you know?
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I definitely have a lot of respect for the gas line and all that stuff, because I don't know. I mean, I could do it probably, but
everybody can.
Yeah, everybody can do it, but it's just like, I know what kind of time goes into it, and patience and steady hand and everything, and but also I have a huge respect for people that do the airbrushing, and like Derek, what he does with his candy paint jobs and everything. Like,
absolutely,
that's hard work,
candy,
man.
The Spectraflame.
It's a lot of work. It's hard work, you know. And Calpito does stuff. Just sent me those like a couple of those dots and 510s where he graded them. You know, it's like the color change on them. You know, half of it's darker green and the other half is like light green or whatever, a rainbow type of thing. The fade. Yeah, it's, these things are flawless, man. Like, it's like, and then to watch the video of him doing it is really cool. And, you know, and he says like, oh man, I'm just, you know, sorry for the video. There's a lot of noise going on and stuff. It's like, you know, it's just a process, man. It's just like you keep shooting videos, you go through it and you notice things and you change it next time. You just have to refine the way you do things. Just like this podcast, I'm still learning, man, how to do this. Like, I'm a noob. And some people may think that I've been doing podcasts forever, or I'm a noob, or that I'm not a noob, but I'm a noob, man. Like I said, it's like to make sure the sound's perfect and there's not stuff going on behind you, and that you plugged everything in and everything's working right. It's tough. It's difficult. It takes practice.
It is, and in the beginning, when you first start doing something like this, it's very easy to get discouraged when it doesn't come out perfect, you know?
Absolutely.
But I go back to my beginning, right? My first couple videos were pretty bad.
Yeah, mine too.
But when I posted them, I had a few people tell me, yo, that's really cool, you know, this, that, and the other thing. And then Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop commented on one of my videos like, this is awesome, you know? So I sent him an email and I was like, yo, man, like, I'm doing my best with what I got. And I was kind of down on myself because I know that it wasn't a good video, you know? And I told him, I was like, you know, the audio's bad, and, you know, the editing's bad, and this, that, and the other thing. And he's like, dude, just keep working on awesome builds. Put the videos out no matter how bad they are. It's going to get better. You know, You're going to get more confidence, and you're going to sound clearer. You're going to look at what works and what doesn't, and, you know, you're going to iron it out. Everybody does. And then that was like the key in my ear, like, all right, you know, somebody else was here already. You know, now I just have to learn from their mistakes and get better. So I started watching, like, how to make your YouTube channel better videos, right?
Yeah.
Which is totally outside of the Diecast thing.
Yeah.
But
it's all similar.
I probably got hundreds of hours of learning on the weathering techniques and how to make a YouTube channel better, and all the way down to like descriptions and thumbnails and this, that, and the other thing. You know, you got to take your spare time and make it valuable instead of sitting there and playing Call of Duty. Right?
Yeah, no, you know? I feel you on that. Like, it's there's certain things that like bring people some kind of joy, like video games and stuff, but like, is it like building you up? Is it building other people up, or is it not? You know, it's just like, is it?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you do for fun, that's fine. But if you want to be good at something else, then you got to learn. You know, so.
Yeah, and it just takes time.
Yeah, time, exactly. Time of watching others make mistakes and learning from their mistakes, and then applying it to your craft, no matter what it is.
Yeah, I'm just gonna label this this podcast with JD's special guest JDC time. We're running out of time.
On your side.
Yeah, time is on your side.
Man.
Yeah. So
you got any other questions for me?
Yeah, and then I'll let you maybe ask me a couple questions, because I mean, if you have any, I never put pressure on anybody, but if anyone has any questions for me, I always like to get to answer anything. But yeah, basically, who else would you like to see on the podcast that you watch that would be like a good person that I know, basically? I mean, I'm not trying to get strangers on here necessarily, but I'm not opposed to that either. But people that,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, obviously, everybody wants to see James Hewitt's on here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's already been brought up.
Oh, yeah, and I think he's willing. I talked to him on the phone. I've talked to him on the phone a couple times, and he's just hilarious. He's one of my favorite people.
Mm-hmm. I guess my second, who else would I want to see on here would be Jason, Mustang Hunter Diecast.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's on the list too, for sure. I think he enjoys. He's listening right now, I'm sure, and I'm sure he wants to get on here so
and
that we
you know
can
what
go
else
back and
too,
forth.
man? And not to veer too far, but I like the fact that you're a down to earth dude, and I would like to see smaller channels too.
Sure.
To get that perspective of like what a newcomer is going through coming into this hobby, because that can be very helpful to not only for newcomers coming into the hobby, right, but for people that are sitting in that seat that have just started. They don't really know where they're going. They don't really know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
But to see where they found inspiration and where they're finding value, because that'll point to people that are in that seat towards those directions, right?
Yeah,
so I think
absolutely.
that would be really cool to get a few newbies on the podcast too.
Yeah, I'd like I've talked about before. I'm looking to get Curb's Garage on soon. Kirby, he sent me some stuff. He's a super positive dude, and I think he's just got a couple hundred subscribers. But he knows diecast. He knows old stuff, like all the red lines and Baja breakers and all the stuff that he's actually inspired me to get more into the older stuff when it comes to diecast. And he's a wealth of information and just a cool dude. So, I mean, I plan on getting him on, and he was really he's like, oh man, you would do that? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't care how many subscribers you have. Honestly, I don't care. It's not like I'm picking you got to have over 1,000 to be on my podcast, bro.
Yeah,
it's
you got to meet the bar. Level up. Level up.
Once you get there, I can't wait. I still might not have you on because I don't like your face. But it's I don't care about that because like you said, everybody starts with 1 subscriber, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's not always a really fast process, to gain people. But I think the less you focus on like the subscribers and the numbers, and I think there's a lot of channels. There's dudes I know that aren't in diecast but have their own YouTube channel or Instagram. They have a ton of fake people on there too, and that's a thing. Like there's these ghost subscribers and ghosts fake accounts on Instagram, and these dudes have like 20,000 subscribers, but nobody watches their stuff, nobody likes their videos. So it's like you can lie to yourself, or you can gain people that are good people that enjoy your stuff, that help you learn, help you grow, and that they're like super valuable subscribers and people in your life that actually watch your stuff, they comment, they engage, you go over to their channel.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't really matter how many subscribers you have. I mean, you could have like 500 subscribers and have, a better following than somebody that has 10,000, honestly, 20,000.
No, absolutely, man, and it applies to me. It applies to my channel. Like, if you were to compare my channel and Hewitt's channel, for example,
people are engaged on his channel for sure.
They are super engaged, right? Because he's such a real dude, and he's so entertaining with his little rants and stuff. That people want to see it, right?
Yeah, we love his rants.
But I did the whole road to 1,000 where I gave away a custom every 100 subs.
Yeah.
I gained so many fake subscribers off that.
Sure.
Man. And I appreciate everybody that's subbed to my channel, but I know for a fact there's people that aren't there. You know?
Anymore. Until you bring up something else for free, you're giving away something, they pop back in.
Exactly.
Did somebody say giveaway?
Part of the reason, and I'll drop this right here because I know my whole sub base isn't gonna watch this thing. And we're over an hour in, I think. So
54 minutes, right? Yeah.
it's part of the reason why when I did this whole dice roll drag racing gig
Yeah.
that I got going on, I didn't announce that the winner of this thing is going to get a custom, which is the case. I'm going to give away a custom, but I didn't do it on purpose because I don't want people to sign up for free stuff. I want people that actually want to be there and have fun, you know, and engage with the channel. And
Yeah, and I've heard you talk about it before because, you know, like, I try to watch all your videos when I can, of course. I'm not going to catch them all, just like you're not going to catch all my videos.
It's impossible. There's so many channels, man.
No,
you can't.
Do it when you can. Don't feel bad about it, but I've heard you say, there's, like, I think we've talked about it, you know, the giveaway thing is kind of a dicey thing sometimes. You really...
It's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword because I've been lucky enough to do my giveaways and get people that are... I luck out and get people that are engaged and good people that win. But, you know, there's other people out there that, you know, they just dive... They just come in, grab it, and they go. You know, and they're not around anymore.
It's a shame, but I mean, that's the way the world turns too, you know. So if you want to grow your channel right off the bat and not have anybody there later, just give one bunch of stuff away.
Yeah, just like empty your pockets.
I shouldn't say that though, because I do have a great core. I have a great core support of subs. You know, guys that are always there and always commenting and watch every single video, like Bruce Zolo and
Bruce is
Andrew
great.
over there and Andrew Black, and you know, there's so many people that I can't even. BJ's Customs, you know, even guys that just started coming around, and like a shout out to a great builder that's just starting out is Diecast Creates. Just started his channel within the last month or two, but the detailing is amazing. I can't wait to see what this guy comes up with down the road. Alex Graff, you know, just some of the guys that are just always there and
positive, very positive dude.
Locked in, right? Locked in, and that's the cool thing about the community. Everybody supports each other.
I think it was Alex just yesterday. He's funny. He's a funny dude. Like I was just at work or whatever. I was all caught up on my comments, you know, which gets kind of taxing sometimes, but. He just posted on my my dance video that doing your dance one. He just said hi, like just capitalized hi, you know. And I was like, hey. And he's like, I just had to revisit this video and say hi to you on it, you know. So it's like, I appreciate that random funny stuff. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, man. It's just cool because everybody's got their own personalities, and you know, you even get guys from like all across the world, man. Like over there in Indonesia and Malaysia, you know, there's a guy, Zelda Diecast Racing. He
I know Zelda.
Every video I put out. You know, there's a Kibbo is over there, and you know, half the stuff, you know, you could tell that they do speak a little bit of broken because their typing is different, you know.
Sure, but it's better than I can do.
So cool that I'd be lost trying to speak that language, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
But it's very cool that, you know, these guys are so supportive all the way across the world too, you know. I don't think you see that in every community, man. I don't think you see it.
No, and you know, I do have I like watching certain, because I'm starting to get more people from like Indonesia and stuff like that, and I've got some from Russia and then some other places, and it's nice to see people. I mean, in certain other channels like David at Twice Diecast, he has a lot of European fan base and stuff like that, so he posts at different times. But honestly, if you make a good video and it's true and you spend a good amount of time on it and you just put it out there, I was kind of focused for a while on what time to post things. You know, like I looked to see what time my subscribers are on, 6 p.m., you know, whatever it is, 4 to 6 p.m. But my last like hunting video, I just posted like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I was just like, you know, screw it, I'm just posting it, and it did well. You know, it's just like people are going to get around to watching your video. You don't have to post it right when your peak is.
That's the thing.
And you'll learn that once you get onto YouTube. You'll kind of figure out when your subscribers are on. Of course, you want to do a live stream when people are on, right? You know, but
yeah, and it all depends on what day of the week it is and all that, right? I'll be honest with you, I got stuck on that YouTube Studio app for a while trying to figure all that stuff out, and then I started to realize, like, it doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter. You know, we're not making any money at this, that's for sure.
No, and we probably never will be, and that's not the focus, you know?
No. But, you know, you put out a good video, people are going to watch it. You put out a bad video, people might watch it as well, you know? But the key is to put out a video.
Yeah, got to start somewhere. You know, I can't wait for Kimber to make her first video, and
Dude, I'm locked in for that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I posted that like first the video she sent me that she filmed it of her finding her first 510s, and it was the cutest thing ever.
I saw that.
Yeah, so
cool,
I'm like, hey, babe, that's step one. Now you got to post your own video on your own channel.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to cut you off.
Oh, yeah. So I was just saying, like, whether it be for, like, Diecast or just, she loves to clean and organize things, and she's a savage at it, you know. She's just really good at, like, organizing things. So I'm like, people love to watch that stuff, babe. So it's just like, just do it.
Yeah, no doubt. It doesn't have to be Diecast. Like, make it happen, right? And those are the channels that have a potential to take off.
Yeah.
You know? I tried to tell Amanda to start filming herself when she cooks, like even an overhead camera, but she don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
She's such a good cook, though. You know.
Yeah, maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe like I've thought about help film it or something like, or help her edit it and just have her do her first thing, because it's. I think a lot of people are really, really threatened by editing. And it's not a big deal. It's really not that hard. It's like I do it all on my phone for YouTube, just like you do. Well, I'll do it from my camera now, and then I'll upload it to my phone, and then I'll edit it, and then I'll post everything from my phone. Basically, I don't do anything on my computer. I'm doing this podcast on my computer, but I also do it on my phone on the fly, and just wherever. So
right. I saw that you were on the road the other day.
Yeah, I mean, of course you got like some rain noise hitting the roof and all that stuff, but,
whatever,
but don't worry about it.
I listen to it in the truck. That's what it's for. I'm driving around doing what I got to do, and I put the phone down in the cup holder so it echoes up.
Yeah.
And I listen to the podcast in the truck while that's the cool thing about this. You don't have to watch a screen.
No, and that's what's cool about it. And I like that people have to listen. They got to use their ears. They can't use their eyes. So I think everyone can agree that if you're sitting somewhere and you're listening to something, or if something's playing over the speakers, you're hearing it. You're actually hearing it. So, I mean, eventually I might do some video stuff, or, it'd be nice to have people like fly people out, have a little studio or something. But that's a maybe thing. Just see where it takes
all
me.
Expenses paid.
All
expenses.
but I'm probably gonna like move out of the state. We're looking at Idaho because it's like it's much cheaper. I can get a 3-car garage and a lift in there and all that stuff.
I'm on board. I hear you.
Yeah.
We're in the same discussions right now. We don't know where we're going, but we're probably getting out of New York.
Yeah, we're up for it. I mean, wherever we're gonna go, we're up for like something something different. But for me, if I could, and I'll tell you right now, I'll tell everyone right now that it does mean a lot to me that you remember that I'm wanting to start my own detail business, and you're helping me push me to do that, because it does matter, and I do appreciate that, because I'm definitely lining things up and trying to get things ready, and I'm just ready to do it real soon. I just got to sell my house and all that stuff and think about all that. But I do appreciate that. Like, I need that. Everyone needs that kind of push and support to just go for it, to do your own thing.
Well, that's the thing, man. I don't just spew stuff out, If I'm going to say something, there's a reason behind it, and when I saw what you said about I might do this or I might do that, I know that you have a history of detailing. I know that you did it already at your job, and you've been doing it on the side. Mm-hmm. So that's why I said, just pull the trigger, man. Just do it. Because if you don't do it, you'll keep making excuses until it's I should have did that.
Yeah, and it's not
my
easy.
My brother, what's that?
It's not easy, but it's a jump that you got to make. You got to make that scary jump, like you're jumping off into the water, and you're not sure how many feet it is down, to the water. It's like, okay,
you know what?
Do it.
You just got to eye the market, make sure that you're competitive and your quality is there, and have the connections for your supply chain, right? And make sure that everything is in the works before you go full steam.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think my brother might be able to help you out with. He's been in the detailing business for 18 years now.
Yeah. So I mean, with people, I love to pick people's ears, and and I like to help somebody with their bit. If I get going on it, I like to help somebody else because, I mean, I think some of the best questions you can ask people that have done something, like even you and I, when it comes to like a channel or modifying, it's like what would you do differently next time? Like, tell me. Like, you can avoid a lot of mistakes from wisdom, basically, right? It's wisdom.
Is that a question?
No. I'm just saying, it's just, that's what I like. That's what I appreciate, and I like that you're willing to do that and help people, because you can help people like avoid the mistakes. Like, if I talk to your brother, I can avoid the mistakes, some of the mistakes that he made starting out, just by talking to him.
Absolutely, man. That's what the wise man once told me: don't buy a boat, borrow somebody else's.
Yeah. I got a similar saying. It's just like, don't buy a boat, just get a friend with a boat. It's just like,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I guess it applies kind of the same way. Don't learn from your mistakes, learn from somebody else's.
Yeah, because you have that opportunity. It's there,
So you never have to actually pay the price for the mistake, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely, man. I'll link you guys together. And I already talked to him. He said he's down. I'll talk to you about it. And, yeah, just you got my number, so you can just give me a shout whenever. But to answer your question,
yes.
You mentioned a question that I want to answer
go ahead.
before we wrap this up, because dinner is on the table. What I would do differently.
Yeah.
If I could go back to the beginning, the first thing I would do differently is what I mentioned before. Not get fixated on buying castings.
Yeah. And
buy tools instead, because there's still tools that I don't have, like an airbrush and a spray booth and, a vacuum former for windshields and, 3D printer and all that good stuff. I don't got none of that, man. I'm over here with 50-cent Apple Barrel paints, a bunch of brushes, rattle cans that I can't use in the winter, or if it's raining, or if the humidity's too high. And I have probably 2,000-3,000 castings, maybe more.
Yeah.
That I don't need. I don't need half of it.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do differently. Don't buy cars, buy tools.
Yeah, if that's what if you're modifying cars, and I think a lot of people that'll be tuning in or listening to this do, and if you're starting to, that's great advice, because you don't need to. You're going to end up with 1,000 cars, and you may only want to keep 100 of them or something, because you just went too crazy. And I think we've all been guilty of that. I've done it. I've like grabbed. I mean, I was just like putting some cars away. I had like 20 something dots and Z's that are just all together. But in my defense, I like hoarding dots and stuff, and I can give that stuff away. And that's it's like 2017 cars. So people are like, "Oh wow, I never saw this one. I never got this one." So certain things you can just give away, and just give stuff away. Don't
and to be honest with you, man, if the shipping wasn't so much, I would have sent boxes and boxes and boxes to the charity for the hospital. But you know how much shipping is across the country.
No, man, you did enough. I appreciate everything for sure.
So I sent out the box that I could and packed it out as much as I could.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I appreciate that, man. Like, there was somebody spent $150 on shipping on one box.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It really is. But I have made it a point to give back as much as I can, and
I think we all know that.
Find some more charities around here to make some donations. But I have already pre-bought birthday presents for every child that I know in life. Every time a birthday comes up, I'm like, "Yep, I got presents. I just got to go check out my cards and see what I got."
That's handy too.
Every kid gets like 10 cars on their birthday,
That's handy. Yeah, I've done the same thing. You got like kids in your life, or I've had new friends. They got kids. I'm like, here, give them.
Yeah.
What do they like? Here's 5 cars, and you're like, oh, Skyline. A Chevelle.
They love them.
Yeah, they love them.
Man, it's like, what are we gonna get so and so for his birthday? We got to be to the party in like 2 hours, and I'm like, we don't need to go to the store.
I got a store in the closet.
I already spent all this money. Like, why don't just give them that? And they're happy with it, man. It's great.
Yeah, if they're happy, cool, give it to them. And they're still, new. And even if they're out of the box and they're still in good condition, they can race them or something like that. Give them away, man.
Yeah, right.
So,
absolutely, man.
All right, man.
The greatest memory that I had as a child was playing
cars.
Hot Wheels with my brother.
Yeah. All right, you got to go, right? You got dinner. I
this burger's getting cold.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate
Thanks for having me, bro. Thanks for having me on here, man. And
no problem.
You got my line. Whenever you want to do something, we'll collaborate. We'll do whatever you want to do. I'll help support the charity as much as I can. And I will. I promise, Kimber, I will get your car out. I haven't been able to work on it. But I know you're going to be listening to this, and yes, I missed your birthday. I'm probably going to miss Christmas because you know how shipping gets.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
It will be there. It will get there. It's on the list, and I just haven't gotten to it because I've got so much stuff going on, But thanks for having me on here, bro. I appreciate it. It was a blast.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for coming on. I think everyone will be excited to hear this podcast, and I will let you get out of here and enjoy your meal, man.
Right on, brother.
All right, man. I'll God bless you, and I'll see you in the next podcast because I want to bring people back on. Eventually, I'll just make the rounds. So.
Yeah, man. Keep it going. Keep it going. I'm fully behind this for sure.
All right, brother. You have a good evening. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, man. You too.
All right. Bye.
Later.